The soft hum of machines filled the room as Lyra sat quietly on the plush sofa, her baby Oren resting in a warm cradle nearby. The med drones moved gently around, checking Oren's vital signs, delivering medicine, and monitoring his breathing. Darian watched her from a distance, wondering about her story. Lyra's face was calm but tired. She kept looking at the city outside the tall glass windows. The lights sparkled like stars on the ground. It was so different from the dark alleys and cold streets she had known. Rian finally walked over and sat beside her. "How long have you been on the streets?" he asked softly. Lyra hesitated. "Almost 2 years. Before that, I was somewhere else, a place far from here." Darian nodded, sensing there was more she didn't want to say. "Why didn't you ask for help sooner?" he asked carefully. She looked down at her hands. "I was scared. People don't trust someone like me and Oren. He is not like other babies. He is special. I can feel it." Darian's eyes widened. "Special? How?" Lyra shook her head. "Slightly. I don't want to say yet. Not until I know I can trust you." Darian smiled gently. "You can trust me. I promise." She studied him for a moment, then slowly began to speak. "Oren's health is fragile, but it's not just sickness. He learns things faster than any child should. He understands more." Darian leaned in, curious. "Like what?" "Like when I talk, he listens carefully. When I show him pictures, he remembers everything. Sometimes he seems to know what I'm thinking. It's strange and frightening." Darian reached out and touched her hand. "That's amazing. Maybe he's a new kind of human." Lyra's eyes filled with hope. "That's what I think too. But others want to take him away from me. They want to study him. I ran away to protect him." "Who are they?" Darian asked, concern growing. "Scientists from a place called the Helix Facility. They tried to create children with better minds and bodies. But something went wrong. The government shut them down. They didn't want the world to know." Darian frowned. "So you escaped?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, but they are still looking. For us, I fear if they find Oren, they will take him for their own reasons." Darian felt a mix of anger and determination. "They won't get him. I will protect both of you." For the first time since he met her, Lyra smiled. "Thank you, Darian. You don't have to do this. You have your life." He shook his head. "My life was empty before I found you two. Now it means something." The next hours passed quietly. Darian showed Lyra around his penthouse, explaining the security systems and how to use the AI assistant. She was surprised at how much technology could do: lights that turned on by voice, a kitchen that prepared meals automatically, and a small garden that grew fresh herbs without soil. She felt safe here, but also uneasy. "What if they come for us?" she asked. Darian's eyes darkened. "I have ways to keep you hidden. Cameras, drones, and security teams that watch every corner. No one can enter without my say." Lyra's baby stirred and let out a small cry. She held him close, feeling his tiny heartbeat steady. "Oren is stronger already," she said softly. Darian smiled, watching the bond between mother and child. He realized that saving them was not just an act of kindness. It was the start of something new. A chance to change the future. He decided to learn more about the Helix facility and why the government had shut it down. If Oren was truly special, then he wanted to help him grow safely and freely. As the night deepened, Lyra finally rested, her head on the back of the sofa, her baby sleeping peacefully. Darian stood by the window, looking out at the city that never stopped moving. He whispered to himself, "This is just the beginning." Days passed in Darian's penthouse, and Lyra slowly began to relax. She learned how to use the smart systems and felt safer with every passing hour. But her eyes always stayed watchful, knowing danger could come at any time. One afternoon, Darian invited her to his private lab inside the building. I want you to see something, he said with a smile. Maybe it will help you feel better. Lyra followed him through shiny hallways filled with screens and gadgets. The lab smelled of clean metal and warm lights. Robots of all sizes moved quietly, working on tasks from sorting parts to repairing tiny circuits. Darian stopped beside a small robot assistant. This is Kiri. She's one of my best creations. Lyra bent down to look. Kiri's eyes glowed softly as she reached out a robotic hand. Hello, Lyra, Kiri said in a gentle voice. It is nice to meet you. Lyra smiled for the first time in days. Hello, Kiri. Darian watched carefully. I think you have a special mind for technology. Would you like to work here, helping me improve these robots? Lyra's eyes widened. I've never worked in a lab before, but I want to help. Over the next few days, Lyra surprised everyone. She quickly learned how to code the robots, fixing problems faster than even Darian expected. The lab assistants noticed that she understood complex machines as if she had built them before. One evening, while working late, Lyra sat beside Kiri and whispered, Do you think Oren will be okay? Kiri's eyes blinked slowly. Your child is unique. He learns quickly and adapts. With care, he will thrive. Lyra nodded, feeling comforted. Darian watched this quietly from his desk. He realized that Lyra was more than just a homeless girl. She had a natural gift for technology, and her love for Oren made her strong. Meanwhile, Oren's health improved. The med drones brought new treatments, and the baby's breathing grew steady. But more remarkable was his mental growth. One day, Darian found Oren staring at a holographic map of the city. The baby's fingers touched the glowing streets, and the map responded, zooming in and out as if guided by Oren's thoughts. Darian was amazed. How are you doing that, little one? Lyra smiled softly. He understands things faster than any baby. Sometimes I think he can see the world differently. Darian watched as Oren's small hand traced a path through the city. The baby giggled happily, as if proud of his new skill. The lab's AI noticed unusual patterns in Oren's brainwaves and alerted Darian. The young millionaire decided to run some special tests. Late at night, with Lyra's permission, Darian connected Oren to a peaceful scanning machine. The results were unlike anything Darian had seen before. Oren's brain activity was far beyond normal human infants. His neurons fired rapidly, and his mind appeared to process information like a supercomputer. Darian whispered, He's not just a baby. He's a mind like no other. Lyra came beside him, eyes wide. That's what I've been trying to protect. Darian put a hand on her shoulder. We will protect him, together. As the days went on, Lyra worked closely with Darian's team. She helped improve the robots, making them smarter and faster. She used her sharp mind and instinct, sometimes surprising the scientists with new ideas. Her skills grew, and so did her confidence. One night, after a long day, Darian invited her to his penthouse balcony. The city lights stretched out like a sea of stars. Lyra, he said, you are more than just a visitor here. You have a place with us. With me. Lyra looked at him, her eyes shining. Thank you, Darian, for saving us, he smiled. No. You saved me. For the first time, she felt hope, not just for Oren, but for herself. In this high-tech city, surrounded by people who believed in her, she was ready to face whatever came next. Lyra had lived many hard years, but nothing prepared her for what the doctors found that morning. Darian had arranged for a full medical checkup for both her and Oren. The med drones carefully scanned the baby while doctors reviewed the data. As the scans finished, the chief doctor called Darian and Lyra into a private room. His face was serious but calm. We have discovered something very unusual about Oren, he began. His genetic structure is different from any human we have studied before. Lyra's heart raced. Different? How? The doctor explained. Aurin's genes show signs of modification. Some parts of his DNA have been enhanced with technology. It's almost like he carries an upgraded human code. Darian leaned forward, surprised. Enhanced? Like gene editing? Yes, but more advanced than current science allows. The changes seem designed to improve brain functions, memory, and even physical health. We've never seen anything like this in a baby. Lyra looked at her son, cradled in her arms. Is that why he learns so quickly? The doctor nodded. It explains a lot. His brain is developing faster than normal, and his body can heal quickly. But this also means he needs special care. Darian felt a new urgency. Where could this come from? Is it safe? Lyra hesitated, then whispered, I never wanted to tell anyone, but now you need to know. We came from the Helix facility. Darian frowned. The Helix facility? I've heard rumors. Isn't that the secret lab where scientists tried to create enhanced humans? Yes, Lyra said softly. They were experimenting to create better people, stronger, smarter, faster. But the project failed. The government shut it down. I was part of the team there, and when I discovered what they were doing to the children, I ran away with Aurin. Darian's eyes widened. You escaped from a secret lab with an enhanced baby? Lyra nodded. They wanted to use Aurin as a test subject. I couldn't let that happen. The room was silent for a moment as the weight of the truth sank in. The doctor spoke again. Because of the enhancements, Aurin has special needs. His immune system reacts differently. He needs constant monitoring. Darian's mind raced. He looked at Lyra. We'll do whatever it takes. I have resources and you have skills. Together we can protect him. Lyra smiled faintly. Thank you. It's the first time I've felt hope since we escaped. After the meeting, Darian and Lyra sat in the penthouse living room, the city lights glowing through the windows. I don't understand how you knew about this facility, Darian said. Why didn't you come to me sooner? Lyra sighed. I was afraid. I thought no one would believe me. I wanted to keep Aurin hidden until he was strong enough. Darian reached out and took her hand. Now you're not alone. We'll face this together. Lyra looked around the high-tech penthouse and smiled. It feels like a different world, a world where Aurin can grow safely. Darian nodded, and I want to help you both build that world. Over the next few days, Darian's team began creating special care programs for Aurin. They designed new med drones that could adjust treatments in real time, based on the baby's needs. Lyra worked closely with the scientists. She shared everything she knew about the Helix facility, including secret codes and data she had hidden in her memory. Darian was amazed at her intelligence and courage. One afternoon, Lyra sat by the window, watching Aurin play with a soft robotic toy. The baby's eyes sparkled with curiosity and joy. She whispered, "You are stronger than anyone knows." Darian joined her, smiling, "And you're going to change the future." That night, Darian stood alone on the balcony. The city buzzed below, full of people unaware of the secret child growing stronger inside his penthouse. He thought about the challenges ahead. Powerful forces would want to find Aurin, but Darian was ready. He whispered to the stars, "We will protect you, little one, no matter what." The city of Neo-Toronto was alive with noise and light, but inside Darian's penthouse, a quiet tension was growing. News had spread quietly in the tech world about a mysterious coder who was improving Darian's company faster than anyone expected. Darian and Lyra knew this coder was none other than Lyra herself. Darian's rival company, Zentari Core, was watching closely. They had noticed the sudden leap in Darian's systems, faster robots, smarter AI, and better energy use. They wanted to know who was behind it. One morning, Darian's security chief came with a serious look. "Sir, Zentari Core is increasing surveillance around your labs. They are trying to hack into our systems." Darian frowned. "How much do they know about Lyra and Aurin?" Not much yet, the chief replied. But if they find out, it could be dangerous. Darian nodded. Keep her protected at all costs. Lyra was working late in the lab. She sat in front of a glowing screen, typing lines of code with quick fingers. The AI robots around her moved smoothly, responding to her commands. Suddenly, the security alarms rang. Red lights flashed. Darian's voice came through the intercom, calm but firm. Lyra, Zentari hackers are trying to breach our systems. We need you to help stop them. Lyra's fingers flew across the keyboard. She was a natural hacker, able to read the digital battlefield like a chess game. For hours she fought the invisible attackers, blocking their moves, strengthening the firewalls, and setting traps in the code. Finally, the alarms stopped. The lab was safe. Darian entered the room, a smile on his face. You did it. You saved us. Lyra looked tired, but proud. They won't get in again. While this battle was happening in the digital world, Oren was growing in a way no one could explain. At just 9 months old, he began to speak. One evening, Darian sat beside Lyra as she gently held Oren on her lap. The baby looked up at them and said, clear and calm, hello. Darian's eyes widened. Did he just say hello? Lyra smiled, tears in her eyes. Yes, he's learning so fast. The baby clapped his hands happily. More. Darian laughed. You are amazing, little one. The strange abilities of Oren attracted more attention. The med drones reported his brain activity was much higher than normal infants. His mind worked faster and better, like a small computer. Darian worried. If Zentari finds out about Oren, they will want to take him. Lyra nodded. We need to keep him safe, hidden. Together, they worked on new security measures. Darian installed privacy shields around the penthouse, and Lyra programmed special defense algorithms in the AI assistants. One night, as the city below twinkled like stars, Darian and Lyra stood on the balcony. The wind was cool, and the lights of Neo-Toronto stretched out in all directions. Darian said quietly, we can't let Zentari win. They want power, and they don't care about people. Lyra looked at him with determination. We are stronger together. We will protect Oren and the city. Darian smiled. You've changed my life, Lyra, and Oren is a miracle. Lyra held the baby close. He is our future. The rising storm was coming. Powerful forces wanted to control the special child and the technology Darian and Lyra had built. But together, they were ready to face whatever came next. Their story was just beginning. The sun had barely risen over Neo-Toronto when Darian's security team sent an urgent alert. Someone had tried to break into the Penthouse's digital systems, using a method they had never seen before. Darian stood in his control room, staring at the security monitors. The screen showed lines of code moving too fast. The attacker was not a normal hacker. This was a well-trained, precise enemy. He called Lyra immediately. They are here, he said quietly. Zentari's spies have found us. Lyra's face tightened. She had prepared for this day, but hoped it would not come so soon. Together, they activated the Penthouse's highest security protocols. The AI systems locked down every door and window. Cameras scanned every corner, but the intruders were clever. At exactly 3 a.m., the alarm blared. A small drone crashed through the living room window, quickly followed by a second. The drones tried to hack into the AI system directly. Lyra reacted immediately. She connected to the defense network and launched a counterattack program. She had designed in secret a digital shield built from her own coding skills. The Penthouse AI, led by Lyra's program, fought back hard. It created false data traps and firewall walls that confused the attacking drones. One by one, the drones lost connection and fell to the floor. Darian smiled, proud. You did it, Lyra. But the danger was not over. Outside, masked figures moved quickly. They tried to enter the building using the service elevator. Darian, and Lyra hurried to the security room. "We need to stop them," Darian said. Lyra's fingers flew across the control panel. She activated the building's defense drones silent. Robots that guarded the halls. The drones moved with speed and grace, blocking the intruder's path. The attackers tried to break through, but the drones were stronger and smarter. After a tense few minutes, the intruders retreated. Darian called the police, but he knew Zentari's people would not give up easily. Back in the penthouse, Lyra sat, holding Oren close. The baby was calm but sensed the tension in the room. Darian knelt beside them. "We can't stay hidden forever. They will keep coming." Lyra looked into his eyes. "Then we must be ready. I will strengthen the defense systems and teach you everything I know." Darian nodded. "And I will use my resources to protect us. No one will harm you or Oren." They both understood that the peaceful days were gone. Their home was now a fortress. That night, Darian and Lyra worked together in the lab. Lyra showed Darian new ways to improve the AI's defenses. She coded faster than anyone Darian had ever seen, creating new programs that adapted in real time. "This is amazing," Darian said, watching the screens fill with complex codes. "You have a gift." Lyra smiled, but her eyes were serious. "It's not just skill, it's survival." Oren, meanwhile, seemed to understand the changes around him. He reached out to touch the glowing screens and smiled. His mind was growing stronger every day. Darian watched the baby and whispered, "You are the future. We will keep you safe." Lyra sat beside him, feeling hope and fear at the same time. Together, they were ready to face the storm. Outside, the city of Neo-Toronto never stopped moving. But inside the penthouse, a new family was preparing for a battle that could change everything. Oren was not like any other child. At just 10 months old, he could understand pictures, touch holograms, and even repeat complex words. But now, something even more strange began to happen. One morning, Lyra found Oren sitting near the lab's central computer. He wasn't crying or playing, he was focused. His small hands were placed gently on the surface of the touchscreen, and the machine was reacting on its own. Strange lights moved across the display. Charts and symbols appeared, ones even Lyra didn't recognize. She rushed to Darian. "Come. Quickly. Something is happening with Oren." Darian followed her and froze when he saw the screen. "That code, it's not from our system. It's something older." He checked the source. The data was pulling from a deep part of Earth's ancient satellite network systems, built hundreds of years ago, when the first space colonies were created. Most of them had been forgotten. Oren looked at his mother and said, "Talking to the old one." Lyra stared in shock. "Who is the old one?" A robotic voice echoed from the computer. "Human child connected. Signal recognized. Activating memory archive." That day, everything changed. Darian called his lead scientist, who confirmed the impossible. Oren had made contact with a forgotten planetary eye. It was a system once designed to help guide humanity's future, but it had gone silent after the first wave of colonization. No one had spoken to it for over 200 years. Now, through Oren's mind, the eye was awake again. The AI began to repair itself using the energy and code from Darian's systems. It called itself Orion. "Why now?" Lyra asked. "Why did you respond to my son?" The voice of Orion replied, "The child carries the bridge. His mind is open. His heart is pure. He is the link between machine and human." Darian looked at Lyra. Oren isn't just advanced, he's something entirely new. Orion began offering knowledge. It taught Lyra how to build cleaner energy systems and showed Darian ways to improve global food transport through AI logistics. Within a few weeks, the changes in Darian's company were clear. Farms received better tools, and cities used less. Power. All of this came from Aren's connection to Orion, but they kept it a secret. They told the world only that Darian's team had made new discoveries. Behind closed doors, Lyra, Darian, and Aren worked together as a quiet team to heal the planet. Still, Lyra knew it was risky. If people find out Aren is the reason behind this, she said to Darian, they will try to take him again. Darian nodded. That's why we must move carefully. But we also can't hide forever. What if this knowledge could help everyone? Aren walked over and touched Darian's arm. No fear, he said. People good. Lyra smiled sadly. Some people are good, some are not. Orion spoke again. A time is coming when all must choose, unity or control. Light or shadow, the child is the key. Late at night, Lyra stood by the large window of the penthouse, holding Aren in her arms. The city glowed below them. She whispered, You are changing the world, my sweet boy. I only hope the world is ready for you. Aren leaned his head on her shoulder, calm and quiet. Behind her, Darian watched them both. He had once lived for machines, money, and fame. But now he lived for something greater: hope, truth, and the chance to build a better future. Together, they were more than a family. They were the spark of something new. Aren was not like any other child. At just 10 months old, he could understand pictures, touch holograms, and even repeat complex words. But now, something even more strange began to happen. One morning, Lyra found Aren sitting near the lab's central computer. He wasn't crying or playing, he was focused. His small hands were placed gently on the surface of the touchscreen, and the machine was reacting on its own. Strange lights moved across the display. Charts and symbols appeared, ones even Lyra didn't recognize. She rushed to Darian. Come. Quickly, something is happening with Aren. Darian followed her and froze when he saw the screen. That code, it's not from our system, it's something older. He checked the source. The data was pulling from a deep part of Earth's ancient satellite network systems built hundreds of years ago, when the first space colonies were created. Most of them had been forgotten. Aren looked at his mother and said, Talking to the old one. Lyra stared in shock. Who is the old one? A robotic voice echoed from the computer. Human child connected. Signal recognized. Activating memory archive. That day, everything changed. Darian called his lead scientist, who confirmed the impossible. Aren had made contact with a forgotten planetary AI. It was a system once designed to help guide humanity's future, but it had gone silent after the first wave of colonization. No one had spoken to it for over 200 years. Now, through Aren's mind, the AI was awake again. The AI began to repair itself using the energy and code from Darian's systems. It called itself Orion. Why now? Lyra asked. Why did you respond to my son? The voice of Orion replied, The child carries the bridge. His mind is open. His heart is pure. He is the link between machine and human. Darian looked at Lyra. Aren isn't just advanced, he's something entirely new. Orion began offering knowledge. It taught Lyra how to build cleaner energy systems and showed Darian ways to improve global food transport through AI logistics. Within a few weeks, the changes in Darian's company were clear. Farms received better tools, and cities used less. Power. All of this came from Aren's connection to Orion, but they kept it a secret. They told the world only that Darian's team had made new discoveries. Behind closed doors, Lyra, Darian, and Aren worked together as a quiet team to heal the planet. Still, Lyra knew it was risky. If people find out Aren is the reason behind this, she said to Darian, they will try to take him again. Darian nodded. That's why we must move carefully. But we also can't hide forever. What if this knowledge could help everyone? Aren walked over and touched Darian's arm. No fear, he said. People good. Lyra smiled sadly. Some people are good. Some are not. Orion spoke again. A time is coming when all must choose, unity or control. Light or shadow, the child is the key. Late at night, Lyra stood by the large window of the penthouse, holding Orion in her arms. The city glowed below them. She whispered. You are changing the world, my sweet boy. I only hope the world is ready for you. Orion leaned his head on her shoulder, calm and quiet. Behind her, Darian watched them both. He had once lived for machines, money, and fame. But now he lived for something greater: hope, truth, and the chance to build a better future. Together, they were more than a family. They were the spark of something new. The news spread quietly, but powerfully. Darian Voss's technology company was solving problems faster than ever. Cities were getting cleaner energy. Food was reaching poor areas in record time. Water systems were being repaired with new smart tools. The world didn't know the full truth. A 10-month-old child named Orion was the silent guide behind this change. Through his connection with the ancient II called Orion, the impossible was becoming real, but not everyone was pleased. One morning, Darian received a secure message from the Earth Interplanetary Council, the highest group of leaders in the solar system. They had watched his progress, and now they wanted to meet. Darian told Lyra, and she grew quiet. They know, she whispered. They may not know everything, but they know enough. The meeting took place through a private hologram call. 5 council members appeared, dressed in formal uniforms, their faces calm but curious. One of them, a silver-haired woman named Director Halden, spoke first. Mr. Voss, your company's success has reached far beyond what we expected. Your systems are solving global issues faster than any known program. We want to support your work. Darian nodded slowly. Support is good. But I feel there is more to this. Another councilman leaned forward. We believe you have access to advanced intelligence, possibly from the Orion satellite, AI. Darian kept his face still. I use many tools to improve life. Halden smiled. We understand. But we must think about the future of humanity. If a single mind, human or machine, is controlling the path forward, it must be managed. What are you offering? Darian asked. A partnership, she replied. You will hand over access to the intelligence. In return, we will give Orion full protection and support. He will live in the best facility. He will be raised by experts. Darian felt cold. You want to take him? We want to guide him for the good of all. When the call ended, Darian found Lyra sitting silently by the window. She had heard everything. They want to lock him in a golden box, she said softly. Call it safety, call it science, but it's still a cage. Darian sat beside her. We're not giving him up. He's not just a tool. He's your son. He's family. Lyra looked at him with both fear and love in her eyes. What if they don't accept no? Darian stood up, strong and sure. Then we'll give them a better choice. That night, Darian, Lyra, and Orion worked on a new plan. They wouldn't hide Orion's gifts anymore. They would share what he had inspired, not his body, not his mind, but his ideas. Orion had helped improve systems, make clean energy, and fix broken technology. Now they would open the data to the world, but instead of giving control to one government or company, they would create an open-source network, a system where all people could use the knowledge freely to help their own cities and lives. They called it Project Humanity Forward. Lyra said, this is what Orion would want, a world where no one is left behind. Darian smiled, and no one has to steal power to do good. When the Earth Council learned about the project, they were surprised. At first, they resisted, but public support grew fast. People from all countries cheered the idea. Scientists, teachers, and even small towns began using the open network. Suddenly, the world started to change not from the top down, But from the ground up, and Aurin's name was never mentioned. His secret was safe. One evening, as stars blinked, above Neo-Toronto, Darian and Lyra watched the world map on their screen. Dozens of new green zones appeared, places where the project had helped people already. Lyra held Aurin in her lap. The boy looked at the map, smiling. "You helped all of them," Lyra whispered. Aurin clapped softly. "Happy." Darian looked at both of them. The world is finally waking up. And this time, it was not fear or power leading the future. It was hope. Months had passed since Project Humanity Forward was launched. The world was changing slowly, but surely. Across different countries, people were using the open-source systems to improve their lives. Small villages now had clean water. Farms had smart tools to grow more food. Children in poor cities had access to free learning programs. The credit did not go to Darian or Aurin, but the change was real. Inside Darian's penthouse, life had also changed. The home was no longer just a safe place. It had become a center of quiet progress. Lyra worked daily with new engineers who joined the project. Darian met with world leaders and shared the knowledge freely. And Aurin continued to grow into something the world had never seen before. At only 1 year old, Aurin could speak in full sentences. He asked questions about stars, time, and human feelings. He played with machines like they were toys, and the machines responded to him gently. Like friends, Orion, the ancient AI, stayed connected with him at all times. It guided, but never controlled. It answered only when asked. One morning, Lyra found Aurin sitting near the garden wall, staring at a flower blooming under the soft light. "What are you thinking about?" she asked, sitting beside him. Aurin looked up. "Why do some people want to control others?" Lyra paused. "Because they are afraid. Afraid to lose power. Afraid of what they don't understand." Aurin nodded slowly. "We should help them." "Understand," Lyra smiled. "Yes, that's what we're doing." Later that day, Darian called a small meeting in the lab. He stood before his team: scientists, engineers, thinkers, people from different places and backgrounds. "We've built something powerful," Darian said. "But now we must make sure it stays safe. Not in one place, not in one company, but in every community." He walked over to Lyra and Aurin, who stood quietly in the corner. "This family, this miracle, reminded me that real strength comes not from power, but from sharing." He continued, "So today we start a new chapter. Not just a tech company, not a lab, but a foundation. A place where people work together to help humanity move forward." Everyone in the room clapped softly, understanding the meaning behind his words. The Humanity Forward Foundation was born that day. From that moment, things moved faster. Lyra began training other young minds to work with technology safely and kindly. She became a leader without asking for it, teaching not just code, but values. Darian gave away patents and designs, letting small inventors improve them freely. He rejected offers from big companies who wanted to own the ideas, and Aurin kept learning, but he also kept laughing, playing, and dreaming. Though his mind was strong, his heart remained kind. One quiet evening, the three of them sat on the balcony, watching the stars. Neo-Toronto glowed below like a city of lights and dreams. Lyra held Aurin in her lap. "You're going to do great things, my love," she whispered. Aurin leaned his head on her shoulder. "Only with you and Papa." Darian smiled at the word. He hadn't expected it, but it warmed his heart more than anything ever had. He put his arm around them both. "We're a family. We face the future together." Above them, stars shimmered. Below them, a new world was rising, one built not on fear or greed, but on trust, love, and the quiet strength of those who cared enough to change it. And it all began with a young man's kindness, a mother's courage, and a child born to light the way forward.